Hello, viewers. Good afternoon. I am Praveen. Hello, viewers. From the OpenView Facebook Live. I am Praveen. Hello, viewers. From the Today, we will try to focus on that how the political parties, politicians, with their glitzy slogans, exploit their voters and drive them to vote for them, for their political parties. This will be the focus, and this is very important to know the functioning of the political parties. You all know, आप सबको मालूम है कि हमारी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में एक एक्सक्यूज मी एक पावर स्ट्रक्चर जो है वो डिफाइन किया हुआ है हिंदुस्तान के जो संविधान है जो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन है उसमें एक पावर स्ट्रक्चर जो है वो सारा डिफाइन किया गया है कि इस तरह का जो है कंट्री का जो है पावर स्ट्रक्चर होगा और हमने जो सिस्टम अडॉप्ट किया है वो सिस्टम एक जो है वो एक डेमोक्रेटिक सिस्टम जो है वो हम फॉलो करते हैं like UK, USA, and other democratic nations. तो इस सिस्टम में जो है पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज का बहुत बड़ा रोल रहता है और वोटर्स जो इस स्ट्रक्चर के जो लाइफ लाइन है पावर स्ट्रक्चर की जो लाइफ लाइन है वो वोटर है क्यों मैं ऐसा क्यों बोल रहा हूं क्योंकि जो वोटर है वो इन पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज को वोट करेंगे तो ये पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज जो हैं पावर्स में आ सकती हैं और अल्टीमेटली अपनी गवर्नमेंट जो है वो फॉर्म कर सकती हैं तो दिस लाइफलाइन रोल has been assigned to the voters, the citizens of the country, जो on the basis of adult suffrage वो अपना वोटिंग राइट जो है वो एक्सरसाइज करते हैं by adult suffrage I mean that a person must be qualified to vote or is qualified for voting if he possesses two qualifications. One, he must be citizen of India, and secondly, he must have attained the minimum age that has been prescribed by the law. Previously, it was 18, or whatever age has been prescribed by law. These two essential जो इंग्रेडिएंट्स हैं जो क्वालिफिकेशंस के to vote must be fulfilled before you vote. So on the basis of adult suffrage, we vote. और इस इलेक्शन का जो सारा सिस्टम है that also has been defined by the Constitution of India in Articles 324 to Article 329. For example, our Constitution says that in order to superintend elections, preparing of electoral rolls, and other many things, the commission has been appointed, constituted, constitutional commission has been constituted, which is known as Election Commission, EC, Election Commission of India, which has 2-3 members. So the job has been assigned constitutionally to this commission to conduct fair elections. Fair elections means that what has been prescribed under law, the commission is bound to conduct elections as has been defined under the provisions of law, election laws. Only then we can say the election is fair. If we follow the procedures, when we follow the procedures and elections are conducted, then we can call it a fair election. So this duty is assigned to the Election Commission of India to conduct fair and fearless elections to both the state assemblies and the parliament. So election must be fair, and our law fully supports the free and fair elections and fearlessly also. Law supports it. Now, this is the position that has been defined by the law, that the duty of the election commission is under section 324, under article 324 of the Constitution of India, that the elections should be conducted fair and free. And there should be no any controversies, bunglings in the elections. Only then we can assert that the elections have been conducted freely and fairly by the Election Commission of India. And if we find that the election is not conducted in accordance with the law, in accordance with the constitutional provisions, then we cannot call it, we cannot treat it a fair, free, and fair election. So, this is one aspect of the elections. Now, what is the role of the political parties? How they exploit the voters? That is very important. To grab the power, they exploit the voters. on various lines. Some exploit it, कुछ एक्सप्लॉइट करते हैं कास्ट के बेस के ऊपर. कोई कुछ कहता है, कोई कुछ कहता है. कोई एक्सप्लॉइट करते हैं रिलीजन के बेस के ऊपर. कोई अपने आप को कुछ कहता है, कुछ कहता है और कुछ कहता है. और कोई रेस के ऊपर, कलर के ऊपर, on various phenomena they adopt to divide the voters so that they could get their support, they could muster their support. तो जो पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज हैं, आपने देखा होगा कि इनके अपने मैनिफेस्टोज होते हैं. वो मैनिफेस्टोज क्या होते हैं? उन मैनिफेस्टोज में इन्होंने ग्लिटजी, लुभावने जो स्लोगन्स हैं वो उसमें दिए होते हैं कि जब आप हमारे लिए वोट करोगे, हम आपको ये देंगे, हम आपको ये देंगे, हम आपको ये देंगे, हम आपको एम्प्लॉयमेंट देंगे, हम आपका मेडिकल ठीक करेंगे, फैसिलिटीज़ ठीक करेंगे, हम आपके स्कूलों को ठीक करेंगे, हम आपको पेंशन्स देंगे, हम आपको फ्री इलेक्ट्रिसिटी देंगे, हम आपको ये देंगे. बट these are the glitzy slogans uh, which they have incorporated in their manifestos so that they could befool the public, the voter, and get their votes by befooling them. And we have uh, often seen this, often observed when such political parties they gain power, they get majority in the parliament, in the state assemblies, and when they assume power, they forget about their manifestos. Then, under the heat and intoxication of power, political power, they start doing things which were never intended constitutionally, legally, and on the basis of which they sought the votes of the public. They go, they operate converse to it. What they say prior to the elections and what they do post elections entirely different. So इनकी जो ये पावर कैसे ये वोटर्स को कैसे अपनी तरफ खींचते हैं, हम जानते हैं अपनी सोसाइटी को बड़ी अच्छी तरह से कि our communities are divided on various lines. तो ये जो सोशल डिवीजन हुई है, these politicians, these political parties exploit these divisions. For example, जो दलित जो वोट है, जो political parties होती हैं, what they do, they try to find that this Dalit vote, where it is much concentrated. For example, हम कबीर टेम्पल्स में जब जाते हैं तो मेरी पर्सनल वहाँ पे ऑब्जर्वेशन है कि वहाँ पे लोगों ने ज़्यादा जो है वो पॉलिटिकल एरिनास जो है बना रखे हैं। वहाँ पे पॉलिटिकल जो एक्सप्लॉइटेशन है वोटर्स की on different promises and all that, वो जो है वो की जाती है by the politicians, by the political parties. This is one way. They visits those areas as Kabir Mandir, and there they, instead of following the tenets, the principles of the Kabir Sahib inside the Kabir Mandir and disseminating the principles, the tenets of Kabir, their line is different. They, politicians from different walks of life, they, they gather there, they try to exploit the Dalit votes to their side so that they could get uh, the required majority or the required number to win the elections. And second is the religion. Today we have seen that religion is on the forefront. Constitution prohibits it. You cannot ask vote on the basis of a religion, caste, color or creed. Because if we practice this on the ground, then it is entirely, this is inconsistent with the constitutional principles. Constitution uh, outrightly rejects such propositions to muster voting power. The point which I am trying to make here is that political parties exploit the concentration of the people where the people, they are more concentrated, and we know that people are more concentrated towards their religions. They follow their religions. Concentration is much more there than anywhere else. Dalits, they follow the Kabir path. So their concentration is much there. And these politicians, they exploit this concentration to drive them to their vote bank. Now, there are some political parties who have seen, who thought that instead of going to this side, it is better to stick to some basics necessities of the people, like example example is Aam Aadmi Party. Today you see what manifesto Aam Aadmi Party is having, how they are trying to create their vote bank. Later, I don't know, nobody knows that what will be the state of affairs of this political party when it will be fully established, like other parties, like BJP, like Congress, and other so called political parties. What will be its state of affairs? At present, it is in the make. So they will not perform, they will not commit such uh, things which the established political parties are committing. This is very important to understand how these political parties they drive the people to their vote banks, how they coax them, कैसे इनको ये लुभाते हैं और लोग इनकी तरफ आते हैं। तो मैं आम आदमी पार्टी की बात कर रहा था कि वाई आम आदमी पार्टी इज ए स्लाइट डिफरेंट देन द एस्टेब्लिश्ड पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज। इन्होंने सोचा कि रिलीजन रिलीजन के बेस के ऊपर भी जो वोट है वो पार्टियां ले रही हैं, कम्युनल वोट्स जो हैं, फिर कास्ट जो कम्युनल वोट्स हैं, कास्ट बेस्ड वोट्स हैं, जैसे शेड्यूल कास्ट हो, दलित वोट जो है, सब तरह के अ, जो प्रैक्टिसेस हैं, all political parties are uh, resorting to. What we should do as a political party, हमें क्या करना चाहिए, हमें क्या ऐसे जो स्लोगन्स हैं वो देने चाहिए लोगों को कि लोग हमारी तरफ अट्रैक्ट हो। तो दिस वाज ए क्लेवर political move by the आम आदमी पार्टी। तो इस चीज को मद्देनजर रखते हुए इन्होंने इन्होंने अपने स्लोगन दिए, हम आपको फ्री बिजली दे देंगे, फ्री पानी दे देंगे, शेल्टर देंगे आपको हम, आपके एजुकेशन जो स्कूल्स हैं, जो सरकारी स्कूल्स हैं जिनकी तरफ कोई ध्यान नहीं देता है, हम उसको बेटर बनाएंगे। तो ये कुछ ऐसे मुद्दे हैं, ये कुछ ऐसे फंडामेंटल बेसिक्स हैं जो लोगों को अट्रैक्ट करती हैं एट दिस जंक्चर। मैंने बोला ना कि बाद में इस पॉलिटिकल पार्टी ने क्या करना है, आफ्टर इट विल बी फुली एस्टेब्लिश्ड, नोबडी नोज दैट। लेकिन उस लेवल तक पहुंचने के लिए ये जो इन्होंने रास्ता अख्तियार किया है, ये इसमें लोग जो हैं वो अट्रैक्ट होते हैं, क्योंकि जॉब ऑफ एनी गवर्नमेंट इज टू प्रोवाइड बेसिक नीड्स टू इट्स सिटीजन्स, and not to uh, make wealthy their own cronies who are closely linked to these political system and to these political parties. तो ये सिस्टम जो है पावर को हासिल करने का, टू ग्रैब पावर बाय पावर लॉर्ड्स, ये ये सारा जो है सिस्टम, इट इज बेस्ड अपॉन योर वोट. This is the vote. This is the power of vote which can give them the power of government. If you will not vote them, they will not win. They will not come into the power. Suppose if nobody votes to any political party, then no political party will come into power. It's a very simple calculation. It's a constitutional. You need vote to assume power, to come into power. And if nobody votes you, you will not come into power. This is same as in courts. If liars do not appear in courts, what judges will do sitting alone in the courts? Nothing. These are the liars who assist the courts to administer justice. Similarly, this is the voter who transfer his voting power to a certain political party to assume power in the government. It's a huge reservoir. Vote is a huge reservoir of power. And this huge reservoir, it is transferred to some political party who ultimately formulates the government, form the government, becomes MPs, get majority in the parliament, Lok Sabha. They make their laws without any, without the intervention of any other political party, if the majority, if that political party is in majority. So this is a huge reservoir of power, and the people, the voters should not underestimate this reservoir which they possess in them. So just assess your power, the power of your vote. तो मेरा जो मेन टॉपिक था वो ये था कि हाउ पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज एक्सप्लॉइट वोटर्स टू गेट इनटू द टॉप. तो आम आदमी पार्टी जो है, आप यू जस्ट कंपेयर present system that they mostly attract voter on the basis of the basic needs of the people. जैसे मैंने आपको आई एक्सप्लेन्ड अर्लियर, फ्री बिजली, फ्री पानी, फ्री मेडिकल, improvement in education system, some security at least, some peace at least. तो जो लोग हैं, जो कंट्री के जो लोग होते हैं, वो प्रेफर करते हैं कि कोई भी गवर्नमेंट जो है वो उनको एक्सप्लॉइट मत करे, तंग मत करे, उनको पीस से रहने दे, सिक्योरिटी से रहने दे, सेफ्टी से रहने दे। ये हमारी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल प्रिंसिपल्स भी हैं। तो जब कोई भी गवर्नमेंट जो है लोगों को तंग करना शुरू हो जाती है, तो वी कैनॉट से दैट इज ए गुड गवर्नमेंट एट ऑल, बिकॉज it is deviating from the power structure, the system which the constitution has gifted us. They are deviating from that principle, तो principle of governance. तो जैसे आज के दिन में you can see the ever rising inflation in the market, ये लोगों को अट्रैक्ट नहीं करती है, because it depletes their pockets and their earnings are already limited. पेट्रोल हाइक देखिए आप कितनी है, पेट्रोल हर दिन बढ़ता है। तो गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से रिलीफ है क्या? कौन सा रिलीफ है जो गवर्नमेंट लोगों को दे रही है? तो यही जो चीजें हैं लोगों को ऑब्जर्व करनी है। तो जो हमारा जो सिस्टम है जो इंडिया में, इलेक्शंस का, that is not that is constitutionally it is based on development, but practically it is not based on development. Practically the scene is entirely different. The political parties, whosoever political party is, when it comes to the power, they do not look to the basic needs of the people, but instead they look to the needs of their cronies, their close friends, their families, few families, which become wealthy in a wink of eye. In the wink of your eye, they become wealthy, and the people who voted them to power, they become poor. Day by day, they become poor. So this is not expected. This is distrustful attitude of the political parties towards their voters. They betray the trust which the voter has reposed in their leaders, in their political parties to whom they voted. They distrust, they betray them. But still, every time they come into power, this is also very strange. The parties who betray the trust of their voter, they come into power again and again. How it happens, nobody knows. तो ये जो वोटर्स की जो एक्सप्लॉयटेशन है, इसको वी नीड टू स्टॉप इट कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनली, और इसमें वोटर को वाइज होना पड़ेगा। ओनली वाइज वोटर कैन ब्रिंग वाइज गवर्नमेंट। अदरवाइज देयर इज नो वे आउट। तो वोटर को खुद समझना पड़ेगा कि मेरी जो वोटिंग की पावर क्या है। वाई every year, in every election, these big people, politicians, wealthy politicians, they are after you. They come before you with folded hands. They sit with you in your house and they eat with you. They have lunch with you. Why? Can't you assess your voting power on this example only? Why they come to you? वेल्दी आदमी को आपके पास आने की क्या जरूरत है? वो इसीलिए आता है कि आपका वोट लेके वो पावर में दोबारा आ जाए और आप उस वक्त गोल हो जाते हैं। You subdue yourself when such people visits you. You do not realize what he did when you previously voted him. You have to assess this. कि when I previously voted him, what he did for me, what he did for us. इसको तो असेस करिए कम से कम। फिर आप उसी को वोट देते हो और वो फिर पावर में आ जाता है। फिर वही वही हरकत वो जो रिपीट करता है जो उसने प्रीवियसली की थी। तो ये सिस्टम ऐसे कैसे ही चल रहा है, चल रहा है क्योंकि पर्सनैलिटी बेस्ड पॉलिटिक्स जो है, डिवीजन बेस्ड पॉलिटिक्स जो है, it will never give you the perfect governments. So you have to assess yourself. You have to assess your voting power. How, what is the strength of my vote? That one wealthy person, politician, he comes to your house, he sits with you, he eats with you. Why? This is very simple illustration. Because he knows the strength of your vote, but you as a voter do not know what is the strength of your vote, rather. This is how the politicians exploits you, and you get exploited very easily. So don't be so gullible. तो टॉपिक जो था वो यही था हमारा, exploitation of voters by the politicians, political parties. ये कंसंट्रेशन देखते हैं कहाँ कहाँ पे लोग ज्यादा जाते हैं और उसका पीछा करते हैं और उसी को बेस बनाते हैं वोटर को अट्रैक्ट करने की, उनको लुभावने स्लोगन्स देकर उनको अपनी तरफ खींचने की। अगर कोई रिलीजियस प्लेस पे जाता है तो ये उसके पीछे जाएंगे। अगर कोई कबीर मंदिर के में जाता है तो वो वहाँ पे पता है कि दलित जो है वो फॉलो करते हैं, तो ये वहाँ पे उस कंसंट्रेशन में आप फंसेंगे आपके साथ और वहाँ पे आपको लुभावना जो है शुरू कर देंगे। और बीच में कुछ पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज जैसे आम आदमी पार्टी है, इनके पास यही है कि ये आपको फ्री बिजली देंगे, फ्री पानी देंगे, तो ये जो ड्राइव करते हैं अपने वोटर्स को, वो इन मुद्दों के ऊपर करते हैं। वो बाद में वो देते हैं आपको या नहीं देते हैं, दैट इज एंटायरली अ डिफरेंट थिंग, दैट इज अ मैटर विच यू नीड टू असेस when you bring them to power and not otherwise. What they say they perform or not, this question will arise when somebody, some political party, some such party will come into power. तो उस वक्त आप उसको वे कर सकते हैं, कोई उसके मेजरमेंट रख सकते हैं कि ये इसने ये कहा था तो किया या नहीं किया है। तो ये सारी चीज़ें जो हैं वो मैं आपके आई वांटेड टू प्रेजेंट बिफोर यू so that you could make analysis of this presentation and think whether I am right or wrong. Or once again, by concluding this, I will say recognize your strength of vote, and use your wisdom when you vote. Thank you very much.